Hi, Richard and I are here at Newark Venture Partners Peak Pitch Conference with Tom Wisniewski.
And I have to tell you, it's one of the most exciting conferences I've ever been to, because the way it works is that the presenters and the entrepreneurs match up with investors. They go up a ski lift together, and the entrepreneur pitches the investor, right? And then it's sort of a reverse elevator pitch, and then they ski down the slope together. So I guess that forms a special bond that you wouldn't get any other way.
Yeah, that's the thing. So Peak Pitch has been going on for 14 years. This is Peak Pitch 14. Newark Venture Partners took over hosting it 3 years ago. So this is our third one. The history is a VC firm, High Peaks Ventures, was the one who started it, came up with the idea. So I can't claim ownership of that. Okay. But the story is, I came for 3 or 4 years, and I just thought it was the best event ever.
So are you a skier?
I'm a snowboarder.
Oh, a snowboarder. Okay.
Right? I came and really liked it, and I got to know Brad Struga, who's the managing partner of High Peaks, now Primary. And about 3 years ago, he approached me and said, look, we're going to start up a conference in New York, a more traditional one. Do you want to take over this, right? And he said, look, it's a lot of work, but I know you love the thing, so we decided to take it over, and now kind of we run it. And I think there's a lot of reasons why it works really well as an event. And first of all, I would correct you, it's not a conference.
Oh, it's not a conference.
If you say conference, people think something, it's an event, right? And the magic is that we're off-site. So we're not in the city. When you remove people from their environment and you bring them to someplace else, that helps. When you bring them to a ski resort, right, and there's activities, it's even more. We keep a balance of investors to founders. There's about 1-to-1 or 1-to-2, so there's just a lot more interaction that can happen. And then there's no panels, no speaking besides me doing a little bit of that. So that stuff just gone. It's all about networking and talking to each other. And because it's done this way and there's no presentations, it's just so much more relaxed. All the founders say to me that this is the best event I've ever had because I just can talk to people and give my pitch and get advice and that kind of thing. And it really works.
And so this is our first time here, and I have to admit what you're saying is right, because I do feel there's a great energy here. I feel very comfortable talking to just about anybody. So if that's the goal, you've achieved it.
Good.
Yeah, and I have heard that when people exercise together, it's a whole different energy and level of communication. And so I think that really is powerful for what you're trying to do here. And it does seem like you have some excellent founders. We've spoken to a few of them. I'm just blown away by some of the companies here.
Yeah, and that's a key too. In the VC world, right, there's a certain kind of hierarchy to things, and investors sort of sit above founders in a sense, right, in one level. And that's an awful way to say it, but there's only so many investors, and there's tons of founders and tons of deal flow. So getting that ratio right is really important. We talked about the other thing is, for the investors, we screen the entrepreneurs. There's a reason why most of them are good. We had 250 applications to come. We only chose 60. And from an investor standpoint, that's really important too, because unless someone does some screening to kind of find good ones, then as an investor, you show up and you're like, these companies are just not that good. I'm not going to come back next year.
Right.
So we as an event organizer need to make sure that there's quality kind of on both sides of this.
That's so fantastic. How do you get the investors?
Good question, and this is part of the magic, because you're right. If you get the investors, you can get the entrepreneurs in a world, right? And you get 40 investors,
wow.
Right? Which we get 40 investors to actually show up, yeah. Right? And wear something that says they're an investor, right? Yeah. Puts a bullseye on
target,
a big
right?
bullseye on them. So how do we do that? Well, we bring them up the night before, and we have a great kind of social event. So it starts with cocktails at 5. We go to dinner at 7. We start playing cards at 9:30. And then when that ends up, we're out at the fire pit doing cigars and drinking bourbon.
So does money exchange hands during these card games?
Yes. Yes, it does. I mean, it's
You better not be your investor, though, right?
well, traditionally, the night before is just for investors, so they don't have to take all the pitches and we can relax. And that's however, but what we've started doing is inviting a select number of entrepreneurs even to that night there.
Well, that's nice.
We're fiddling around with the format to bring more entrepreneurs kind of in even earlier, but so that's how we get them here. We make it a fun event. We have a bus that takes them up. This is what you got to do for investors, you got to make it really simple, and you can't charge them any money. Because even though they have the money, they don't want to pay.
So if I'm an entrepreneur knocking on your door, what does it take to get me in across the threshold?
Well, first of all, each investor is going to be a little different in kind of how they want to be approached or how they like to interact initially with people. I think the one rule that works everywhere is a warm introduction is the best way. Cold calling people, cold sending stuff. I actually do respond to every email that I get that's relevant to me, right? Wow. Meaning if someone's trying to pitch me on an oil well, I may not do that. But everybody else, I will. Not everyone will do that. However, if an entrepreneur who I know refers somebody in, or an investor I know refers somebody in, I will absolutely spend time on that one because I know that someone who knows me and I trust sending me someone. So if you want to kind of get to me or other investors, warm introductions are the best way to do it.
Well, I did look at your LinkedIn profile, and on there you do say, I am strictly a tech investor, don't bother me with anything else. So if I look at your LinkedIn profile and I got a great tech product, but I don't know you, can I still get in?
Of course. I mean, get in to see me or get into the event, or what do you mean?
Get in to just talk to you.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Way I like to begin, I'm a kind of an analytical, more of an introvert guy. So what I'll say to you is, look, that sounds interesting, or it doesn't, to me. Why don't you send me a deck? And people would say, hey, can I get a meeting? I said, no, send me a deck first. I want to look at it. I want to think about it. And if I feel like it's relevant and makes sense, then we can do a phone call. You can come in. I'll refer you to one of my colleagues who, Allison runs the labs program. If I sense that the company's in the sort of pre-seed stage and fits labs, I'll refer it to her, and we'll kind of get you into the process. So that's kind of how I like to do it. As a venture capitalist, as an investor, you just have to be open to deal flow, or you're shutting yourself off from your from your lifeblood.
Your opportunities, right? Your lifeblood.
And if you develop a reputation as someone who's not open and not willing to give, you're going to lose people too. So the best way is to develop a reputation of being value added to founders. Because founder views you value added, they'll love you even better, they'll tell everyone else about being good. And the opposite is true too. You can't survive very long in this industry if you're not like a team player and nice to your investors. And because as soon as if you develop a bad reputation, it's like, no one's going to send you anything.
So that is so important. Entrepreneurs, I know people sometimes have disagreements, but disagree nicely with your investors, right?
Yeah, there's a rule there, which is, and I like to argue. I grew up in a family of two other brothers, and we were just arguers. The thing is, very occasionally an entrepreneur will try and argue their way into, getting, an investment or getting the pitch in front of me, and that doesn't work. You can't argue your way in, right? You can't tell me I'm wrong about too many things. I'm just going to go look, I give you my advice and that sort of thing. You're arguing more and more. It's not. You're doing yourself damage, right? But that doesn't happen very often. Most of the time, people know what they're doing.
So what's new at Newark Venture Partners?
All right. So Newark Venture Partners, a little background. We're based in Newark, New Jersey. We're a venture capital fund that focuses on pre-seed through Series A. So on the low end, we do $100,000 investments. We do that programmatically through a program called MVP Labs. It's like an accelerator. We target companies that are a little farther along. As a firm, all we do is B2B. So for those that early stage, our kind of cutoff or screen is product in market, generating some revenue. So we're not an idea investor. We feel like that's the right place to start because we can judge a little easier through the market and through the customers if there's traction, if there's fit, and two, we know we can help you a lot more, right? So we go all the way up to to $1 million, and we use that program. It happens twice a year, 10 companies each class, 8 to 10 companies, as a way to create a funnel. to get to know companies. So in addition to capital, we have a 10,000 square foot space out in Newark, beautifully laid out. It's free to the founders forever. They want to stay. And the other way we add value is our investors, our LPs, our major ones are corporations. So Amazon Audible is one of our founding investors. We're in the building with them in Newark. RWJ Barnabas, large hospital group, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield, Dun & Bradstreet, TD Bank. They invest in the firm, one, because they believe it's a good investment, but mostly because they want to get closer to the innovation economy. Large companies are always struggling to do more innovation, and they want to find startups and work with them, but it's really difficult. So that's one of the reasons they've invested in us. And the other one, and the other mission we have beyond being good investors, is we're trying to build the tech community in Newark. So we are, in a way, a social impact fund. We don't talk about ourselves that way all the time, but the way we measure our impact is in the number of companies we're going to get to lay down roots and grow. The vision is, Audible's been there for 13 years now, I think. They started with 100 people, and they now have 3,000 in Newark. If there were 10 more Audibles in Newark, it would be a totally different place. That's our goal. Over 10-year period, trying to get companies to found there and get them to grow. And we've been at it for 4 years, and a great company called One Huddle is sort of an example of that.
Sam was on Passage to Profit.
So you know him. So Sam won him.
And we were just talking before the taping that Sam got $5 million in funding, and he says he's going to stay in Newark too.
Yes. So we found Sam. He was in our first MVP Labs class. It was 2 people, Sam and another salesman. He was outsourcing all his tech. 2 people. Roll the clock forward. He has 20 today, and they're all in our office. Fantastic team. He's the most organized sales team that I've ever seen. I wish all of my companies were that proactive about all those things. They just closed the round, raised $5 million. They're going to expand their team to 40. And as a part of that, they're leaving the nest, and they're going to take on their own office space a couple doors down from us in Newark. So we want more of those. That's our birth story.
So is MVP tech only? Because I thought there were consumer product companies here.
Yes, MVP is B2B software-based businesses, so SaaS companies. We'll do a little bit of device. That said, this event is not about us per se. It's about the community. So there are other kinds of investors, so we just invite good startups. So there are B2C companies out there. There are device companies. They may not be relevant to us, but they're going to be relevant to the other investors who come here.
I see. Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome then. So you guys are kind of opening things up, but you strictly are tech.
Yeah. But tech, when you say tech, it's sort of, people will interpret that differently.
Yeah.
So tech can mean a lot of things. So I don't invest in services businesses. I'm not gonna do a storefront business, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's tech, but within tech, software-based companies is different than someone who will do like medical device or other things like that. All of that could be tech, but.
Right. Great. Any other questions?
No, it's been fantastic having you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And
we look forward to having you in this iHeart studio.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's fun up there.
And how can people reach you one more time?
You can reach me. I'll give you my email address. It's TW, like Tom Wisniewski, TW@Newark.vc.
And this is Richard and Elizabeth Gearhart with Passage to Profit, talking to Tom Wisniewski. It's been wonderful chatting with you.
Wonderful chatting with you.
I guess you want to get back on the ski slopes.
I get back on the ski slopes, get some more pitches.